Procrastination, a word so commonly used, yet so deeply misunderstood. It's something nearly everyone struggles with, at least from time to time. Whether it's leaving a school assignment until the night before it's due, ignoring that mountain of laundry, or putting off the email you've been meaning to send, procrastination can slip into almost any part of our lives. It disguises itself with innocent intentions. I'll start after one more episode, or I just need to wait until the mood strikes. But more often than not, it leaves us scrambling to keep up, feeling guilty, anxious, and wondering, why can't I just do the things I know I should do? To understand why we keep procrastinating, we first need to debunk the biggest myth. Procrastination is not simply a result of laziness. It's rarely about being unmotivated or unwilling to work. At its core, procrastination is a complex, often unconscious, emotional response. It's our brain's way of coping with unpleasant, overwhelming, or intimidating tasks. So why does our mind avoid these tasks, and how can we break the cycle? Let's start with the science. When you're faced with a task you don't want to do, your brain perceives it as a threat, not in a life or death sense, but in the sense of discomfort, boredom, or fear of failure. The amygdala, the part of your brain that processes emotion, sends out an alert. In ancient times, this alert helped us steer clear of danger. In modern times, it's the reason you keep reaching for your phone instead of tackling your to-do list. Procrastination is a way our brain temporarily soothes anxiety, swapping short-term comfort for long-term well-being. It's a self-protective habit, and like all habits, it becomes stronger the more we indulge it. But that's only the beginning. Procrastination also thrives on perfectionism. If you're waiting for the perfect moment or afraid your work won't measure up, you're setting yourself up for avoidance. The logic goes something like this. If I don't start, I can't fail. If I can't fail, then I won't be judged. Of course, the anxiety only grows the longer you wait, creating a feedback loop of delay and self-criticism. There's also the lure of instant gratification. We live in a world with endless distractions, social media, streaming services, games, and notifications vying for our attention every second. Our brains are wired to seek pleasure and dopamine hits, and these pleasures are easier and more immediate than the satisfaction of ticking off a long-term goal. Every time you choose to scroll instead of study, your brain gets a small reward, reinforcing the habit of procrastination. The easy path isn't always the best path, but it's often the most tempting. So, knowing the why behind procrastination, how do you break the lazy cycle and reclaim your focus? First, acknowledge the emotion behind procrastination instead of ignoring it. Identify what you're really feeling. Is it anxiety about not being good enough? Overwhelm due to the size of the project? Boredom or frustration about the task's relevance? Labeling your emotions can help remove their power. When you tell yourself, I'm anxious about starting because I'm afraid I won't do well, you bring the feeling into the open. It's no longer a shadow in the background driving your actions. It becomes a specific, addressable feeling. Next, make your tasks smaller. One of the most effective ways to beat procrastination is through chunking, breaking big projects into tiny, manageable steps. If the idea of writing a report makes you freeze, start with just a title, a sentence, or an outline. The key is to lower the entry barrier so much that it feels silly not to start. Progress is momentum. When you complete a small step, no matter how minor, you get a sense of accomplishment. That feeling builds, carrying you on to the next step. Suddenly, the process feels doable. Set clear, realistic deadlines for these tiny tasks, far more frequently than just the final due date. For example, set a timer for 15 minutes and promise yourself you'll work for just that block of time. People often call this the Pomodoro technique. When the timer ends, you can take a short break or keep going if you feel motivated. What matters is you started, and statistically, once you take the first bite, you're much more likely to keep eating. Environment plays a vital role too. Discipline is often a matter of design, not willpower. Remove the distractions within your reach. This might mean putting your phone in another room, logging out of social media accounts, or decluttering your workspace. Make your environment nudge toward focus. Have your materials at hand and set up your space so starting is as effortless as possible. Reward yourself immediately for making progress. Instead of waiting until everything is done, try celebrating the tiny wins. Dopamine, the brain's reward chemical, helps reinforce good behavior. When there's even a small reward for moving forward, the task begins to feel less like a punishment and more like a game. Treat yourself to a 5-minute walk, a favorite snack, or 10 minutes of something you enjoy. Cultivate self-compassion. Forgive yourself for the times you got stuck, for the hours lost to mindless scrolling or avoidance. Research shows that people who forgive themselves for procrastinating are less likely to do it again. Instead of berating yourself, remind yourself that setbacks are a part of growth. The goal is not to be perfect, but to make progress. Shift your self-talk. Instead of saying, "I have to do this," try saying, "I choose to do this to reach my goals." Framing tasks as choices gives you a sense of control and agency, rather than feeling obligated or trapped. When you recognize your actions as steps toward your own desired outcome, even the tedious tasks start to feel meaningful. Visualize your future self. Imagine how you'll feel tomorrow, next week, or next month after procrastinating or after taking action. These mental time travel exercises help bridge the gap between short-term comfort and long-term satisfaction. Studies have shown that people who regularly picture their future selves are more likely to make choices that benefit them down the road. Sometimes, it helps to find a little accountability. Share your goals with someone you trust. Text a friend what you hope to get done and ask them to check in. Or join online communities focused on productivity. The knowledge that someone else cares about your progress can be a powerful motivator. Consider the deeper why of what you're doing. If a task feels meaningless, it's far easier to put off. Remind yourself of how it fits into your larger goals, even if it's not directly fun or fascinating. Connecting with your purpose transforms the task from a burden into a stepping stone. And finally, be patient. Breaking the procrastination cycle takes time and practice. Old habits are deeply rooted, but they aren't unchangeable. Every time you resist the urge to delay, even for a minute or two, you're strengthening a new pattern. Consistency over perfection is the goal. In closing, understand that procrastination is not a personal failing, but a human experience. You are not alone. The battle is not about becoming a productivity machine, but about understanding your brain, taking small steps, and treating yourself with kindness throughout the process. Each day is a new opportunity to begin again, to choose action over avoidance, and to move a little closer to the life you want to create. So, next time procrastination calls, pause and listen to what it's really telling you. Then, gently refocus, take one tiny action, and reward yourself for showing up. Over time, the cycle will shift. The more you practice, the less power procrastination will have, and with each step forward, you'll find that lasting change is possible, one small choice at a time.